It's this, the slides are really small. Is that way for everybody else?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, I'm letting in some people now.
We could give it about 1 more minute and we will start the PowerPoint presentation. Good evening from the University of Mary Washington Student Service Center. We would like to welcome and thank everyone for attending Navigating Your Military Benefits at the University of Mary Washington chat series. My name is Alicia Tisdale, and I, along with my colleague Molly Smith, are representing UMW's Financial Aid Office. We have Melissa Clark and Joanna Pacheco from UMW's Office of Student Accounts. We also have Ryan Hastings and Patricia Sarkudi from UMW's Registrar's Office. Each of the offices play a vital role with managing your military benefits. Before we get started, we have a few housekeeping tips that we wanted to share. This presentation is recorded, so we ask that you please be mindful of the information that you're sharing. If you have specific questions that are personal, we encourage you to reach out to our offices during our business office time. Each of our offices will be representing or presenting on the benefits that we manage. Molly, Joanna, and Patricia will be answering questions in the chat, so feel free to ask any questions you may have in the chat. Let's get started. Our goal tonight is to assist students and families in understanding how to use your military benefits at UMW. We want to share awareness on the types of benefits that are commonly used at UMW, along with the certification process, and how these benefits will be applied to your student bill. Next slide. Here you have the commonly used benefits that we process at UMW. We will be providing information on each of these benefits. Please note, we are not limited to these benefits. It is what we typically see. If you have been approved for a benefit that is not listed here, please let our office know, and we will be happy to assist you with navigating that process. For the sake of housekeeping and internet issues, if we're not presenting, we will be turning off our cameras. You will now hear from Melissa Clark on the Virginia Military Survivors Independent Education Program, Tier 1.
Thanks, Alicia. I just turned my camera on just for a second so you would know who's talking. Like Alicia said, I will be going through the VMS-DEP benefits. And if Alicia didn't mention it previously, we will have a Q&A at the end also, if you have any additional questions that you'd just like to ask outside of the chat. So I'm going to turn off my camera before I forget to do that. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Virginia Military Survivors Independence Education Program. You may have heard it called VMSDEP or VEMSTEP. It is a tuition waiver program that is administered by the Virginia Department of Veterans Services, and it covers up to 8 semesters of coursework at Virginia public institutions. Next slide, Molly. I've put together a flowchart of the UMW application process. So the initial application can be submitted to the VMS DEP portal at any time. However, they do recommend that this be done as early as possible prior to the semester starting. Once the application is approved, students must update their enrollment information each semester that they want to use benefits. The semester enrollment information cannot be updated until the portal opens for that term. For the upcoming fall semester, the portal opens on July 1st. And I know that chart may be a little difficult to see there. After the enrollment information is updated, the Student Accounts Office, which is my office, then applies the tuition waivers on a weekly basis using the enrollment information provided by the VMS DEP. Next slide. We have listed qualifiers on this slide, but they can also be found on the VMS DEP website. You can Google VMS DEP, or we're putting the website address in the chat. There are two benefit tiers. One has a stipend and one does not. Once the student's application is approved by the VMS DEP, they will advise what tier the student falls into. Both tiers cover tuition and mandatory fees each semester, which at UMW includes tuition, the aux fee, and the processing fee. Tier 1 students do not get a stipend, but they often use Chapter 35 benefits along with their VMS DEP benefits, and we will be going through Chapter 35 benefits shortly. I'm going to turn it back over to Alicia, who's going to talk about Tier 2 VMS DEP benefits.
Next slide, please. So the VMS DEP Tier 2 stipend process is managed by the Office of Financial Aid. The Tier 2 stipend is a tiered one-time stipend that is applied to your student account as a pending credit each semester. Semesters are fall, spring, and sometimes summer, based on your enrollment. The tier stipend rate is determined by the state and shared with the university as an awarding guide. Currently, the rate ranges from $240 to $950 per semester based on your enrollment. Within an academic year, or what we call financial aid awarding period, the maximum amount a student can have in stipend currently is $1,900, and that's between fall, spring, and summer. Please keep in mind the stipend benefit rate can change based on state funding. The process works. The financial aid office certifies and, if needed, make the necessary updates to the enrollment that was submitted by the student after the add drop period of each semester. For those of you who are not familiar with the term add drop, this is the period when students can make changes to their class schedule. Usually this period falls within the first 3 weeks of classes. Once the enrollment has been certified, it takes about 8 to 12 weeks before the funds are received at the university from our state office. It is UMW's policy to not disperse or pay out any payments until we have received the funds from the state. The stipend will show as a pending credit to your semester bill and will be taken into consideration when factoring any amounts that may be due or any payment plan amount, monthly payment plan amounts that may be due. When funds are received, it will be dispersed towards your student account. If a disbursement causes an overpayment, the student will be refunded as per the student account's e-refund process. We will now have Ryan Hastings to speak on the types of chapters benefits at UMW.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Hastings. I'm the UMW Military Affiliated Student Support Specialist, and I am one of 2 VA school certifying officials here at UMW. The other one is my partner in crime, the great and powerful Patricia Sarkudi. And the first benefit we're going to talk about right now tonight is the Chapter 35 DEA Survivors and Dependent Education Assistance. This benefit is available to eligible spouses and dependents for certain veterans. And what do I mean by certain veterans is that veterans who were killed in action, deemed missing in action, or who have a disability rating of 100% permanent and total with the Department of Veteran Affairs. So what do we get with Chapter 35? Dependents and spouses get 36 months of education benefits, and through that, they receive a monthly stipend, which is paid directly to them, to the student. And that stipend is based on, the stipend amount is based on how many credits you're taking during a semester, right? So as undergraduates, the typical term is 16 weeks. You want to be 12 credits or better to get the maximum Chapter 35 stipend, biggest bang for your buck, if you will. How do you get certified? Well, with your Chapter 35 benefits, you must submit the UMW request for benefits form. And if you're using benefits at UMW for the first time, please attach the VA certificate of eligibility. So the request for benefits form is a UMW form. Every college university has their own VA certification form. Ours is called the request for benefits, or RFB. I have an acronym for everything because I was in the military, so that's just how I roll. So you have to submit the RFB every semester you want to use your benefits. All right, next slide, please, and thank you. The next benefit is the post 9/11 GI Bill, or Chapter 33. This is also available to dependents, provided that the veteran, him or her, transfers their benefits to the dependents. Right? It's also for veterans. Like Chapter 35, you also get 36 months of education benefits. Through that, you get a housing allowance, or BAH, basic allowance for housing, which is also dependent on how many credits you're taking. To be eligible for BAH, you have to be at above 50%, 51% or better. So if you're, and again, if you're taking 16-week classes, you want to be at 7%, 7 credits to be eligible for the BAH, right? Additionally, you get a one-time book stipend, right? So and that works out to be $41.67 times the number of credits you're taking. So 51.67 times 12 is $500. So, and it maxes out at 12 credits. So if you're taking 12 credits, that's what you're going to get, 500 bucks. All right, next slide, please. So Chapter 31, Vocational Readiness and Employment, or VRE, unlike Chapter 35 and Chapter 33, this is an employment benefit, rather. I apologize, an employment benefit. Well, the other two are education benefits. This one is an employment benefit, and the proof is in the pudding right there in the name, Vocational Readiness and Employment. This is for veterans specifically who have a disability rating of 10% or better. And with this benefit, you get 48 months of education benefits, and you have to work with your VRE counselor. Everyone using this benefit is assigned a VRE counselor. And with that, you have to submit a game plan to them. Why am I going to UMW? What am I going to do there? What am I going to do I hope to do after graduation in my career, right? Am I using VRE to get a promotion? Am I using VRE to start over again and get a new career path? But that's what VRE does. Now, I have spoken ad nauseum about the request for benefits form, so I want to tell you all, how do you find that form? Because that's the all-important form. Patricia is going to put a link in the chat for you all to use, and that link is going to take you directly to the UMW Veteran and Military Resources webpage. That webpage is your best friend. You're going to want to bookmark it, right? That's going to be your one-stop shop for all things VA, GI Bill, VMS, DEP related issues, right? Right there on the homepage of the Veteran and Military Resources webpage, there's 2 ways to access the request for benefits form. The one is a blue button, and it literally says submit the UMW RFB form. And there's 4 vertical gray tabs. The second one from the left is with a hyperlink in it. That's going to take you 2 ways to access this form, take you to that form. We've recently updated the RFB, so you will need your UMW net ID and password to access it, but fill it in. If you're using your benefits for the first time, please include your VA certificate of eligibility and just hit submit. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to turn it back over to my good friend, Melissa.
Okay, so in terms of VA benefits and student billing is handled by the Student Accounts Office. So anticipated veterans benefits, including the VMS DEP Tier 2 stipend, are shown as a pending credit on the student bill until payment is received. So I've included a little snapshot of what the bill looks like. And I know it's pretty small, but it's really just to give you an idea of where to look to make sure that the benefits are showing up on your billing statement. So on the left-hand side, there's an account summary section, and in that is a pending credit section. Over on the right is the account detail that provides additional details about your account. There's also a section for the pending credit there. If you have completed all the necessary steps to use your military benefits and do not see this on your bill, please contact the Student Accounts Office. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Alicia.
So here you see important dates for your attention. In the month of June, we ask if you've been selected for verification. You should have received an email from our office by now, which is the Office of Financial Aid. Please submit all verification documents requested by the Financial Aid Office to ensure your financial aid awards are in place and is properly reflected on your bill. Next, we have Parent Plus and alternative loans. You can apply for your Parent Plus loans through the studentaid.gov site. We have information on our private loan or private lenders on our website. Veterans benefit, as was stated in the presentation, please work on getting your necessary approvals needed to secure your military benefits. And orientation, we are nearing the end of UMW's orientation season, and we hope that you all have had an opportunity to attend one of our sessions. If not, you would definitely reach out to the university, one of your admissions counselors, to see about maybe scheduling for a makeup date. July. July, usually I say that's the month that the rubber hits the road. On July 1st, the fall VMS DEP portal opens to students, and students can log in beginning July 1st to enter their enrollment. Early to mid-July, first fall bills will be sent out via Eagle Pay to our students and authorized payers. Watch your UMW email for updates on our July 30th chat series, and it's going to be called Financial Aid Overview and Billing. By August 1st, please submit your fall certificate of eligibility for your chapter benefits. The sooner the better. And then we kind of have looking ahead. Remember, students, we will need to log into the VMSDE portal to update enrollment for each semester. So November 1st, the portal opens for the spring semester. And then by December 1st, submit your spring request for the Virginia benefits form and certificate of eligibility. Next slide, please. This now brings us to our Q&A portion of our presentation. Please see our contact information on the slide, and it should also be in the chat notes. If you have entered a question in the chat and it has not been answered, please let us know. This is a very informal chat series, so you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question if that would be better. Do we have any questions in the chat that has not been answered or would be good for the benefit of the group? Okay, it seems like we've answered everyone's question. And if you could, okay, so finally, I would like to take the time on behalf of the University of Mary Washington and my colleagues. We would like to say thank you to our service members and families for serving our country. And I want to say thank you again for attending our chat series. Thank you to my colleagues for assisting with this chat. And we hope that we were able to provide you with guidance on how to navigate your military benefits at the University of Mary Washington. And if there are no further questions.
Alicia, there is one question in the chat.
Okay, I can't see the chat, so perfect.
Okay. There is one that says, are there any monthly reporting requirements, or is it just per semester? And I'm sorry. This is Patricia talking. For Veteran Affairs benefits, there is a monthly process that the student will do with the VA. So when the student submits all their paperwork, we can separately talk in detail about that. But yes, there is an extra step when it comes between the VA Veteran Affairs benefits and the student that's reported monthly. I don't know if Ryan wants to make any additional comments on that.
Yeah, that's a VA thing. Alex, I'm not sure what benefit you're using, but Chapter 35 and Chapter 33, you need to verify your enrollment monthly. The best thing you can do is make sure VA has your best contact information. I would suggest you call the VA Education Call Center. I'm going to say this real slow. The number is 1-888-442-4551. Just call them, let them know, hey, this is who I am. I want to make sure I'm good to go for monthly enrollment verifications. Thanks, Patricia. And
You're
then there
welcome.
are 3 ways for you to verify that enrollment: text, email, or create a login.gov or ID me account and verify your enrollment through ask.va.gov. But in my opinion, the best way for you to verify your enrollment is through the text method. That'll get your money to you quicker. And additionally, those texts are not well written, but your answer is always going to be yes. So unless you zero out, if you're in 12 credits and you drop down to 0, that's when you say no to your enrollment verification text. However, comma, if you go from 12 to 9, you're still saying yes because you're still enrolled. You're gonna let one of us know, right? Either Patricia or I know I dropped a class, and we will take care of that on our end. We'll let VA know, okay, so Alex has dropped from 12 credits to 9 credits, and then that'll be that. But your answer for as far as enrollment verification is going to be yes when you are taking credits, right? Okay, so but yeah, make sure VA has your contact information. You'll have to do that monthly.
Ryan, there is a question in the chat about a VA session during orientation later this week. Will
Yeah,
there be any?
yeah, I'm going to be there tomorrow between 3:45 and 5, as well as Thursday and Friday.
Mhm.
I'm in it to
And
win it, man. I'll see you there.
and if there's any questions about VMSDEP, the Office of Financial Aid will be hosting a Soaring Through Your Finances, and you're definitely more than welcome to stop by if your question is about VMSDEP. And we will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
And student accounts will be there as well.
Yes, the Office of Student Accounts will be there. I think we had someone to join late. I noticed in the chat. So we pretty much covered our presentation, but if there are specific questions that you all may have, definitely you can come off mute. You can put them in the chat. We will take a few minutes and we can answer your questions and your concerns. So Molly, if you could do me a favor and go back to the slide that talks about the important dates. So we can, for the person that came on a little later, they can at least they can see the dates.